Well, welcome to the second week of James Montreal Beer Reviews Season 3. Before I get to that, I just want to thank Chad9976 over at Chad's Beer Reviews and Harlock over Hugly Beer Reviews for replying to my wheat beer challenge, and they did pretty good reviews. I mean, good reviews and pretty interesting beers. In fact, Harlock finally got to try a Union Brew beer. Really happy for him. Anyway, this week I've decided to dedicate to special unique beers. So I'm going to call this a special beer week, and this is the time for me to review unique styles. I've got a few lined up, so I'm not I'm entirely following what I have in my stock, but I'm also going to review a few beers that have been suggested to me. And in fact, today we're going to kick off with Aphrodisiaque. This is a Dieu du Ciel brew. Now, there are a few facts interesting about this beer. First of all, it's only it used to be only on tap, so you couldn't find this in a bottle even like a month ago. So recently they started bottling this, and I've only found out about it because Jay over at Jay's Beer Reviews, he kept like reminding me to try this beer, and he wanted me to try this at the beer fest, which I didn't get to. So I just go on the site one day and I see that they finally released this in bottles. So I got lucky. I went on and bought a bottle. It was like $3, but I think it's going to be worth it because this brewery is my favorite in town, and it's never let me down. So I think this should be interesting. Now, the style is not your typical style. It's a stout, but it's a cocoa and vanilla stout. And it's 6.5% ABV, so it's slightly above the average strength of alcohol by volume for a stout, for dry stouts. But it's not quite an imperial, so it's not too big of a monster kind of beer. But it should be interesting. And they actually use vanilla and cocoa beans in the brewing process. So let's get reviewing and see what it's all about. Okay, here's the bottle. A closer look. It's a standard kind of small 341ml brown glass bottle they use for many brews in Canada, and if you translate that in the US ounces, I think it's less than 12, but in the imperial ounces, that's exactly 12. It says cocoa and vanilla stout, 6.5% ABV. It's a strong beer, which is only fair, and it's unfiltered. This side of the label says to degustate, to really try all the spectrum of the beers on tap, visit our two brew pubs in Montreal and Saint-Jérôme. It has a bottling date. The ingredients are water, malt, cocoa beans, hops and vanilla beans, and this was first brewed in May 2003 by Dieu du Ciel. And it has the French language description, which I'm going to read in English either way from the site. So it's a black ale with aromas and flavors of vanilla, dark chocolate, bourbon and roasted malts. The vanilla and cocoa marry nicely without outcompeting each other to produce a surprisingly well-balanced beer. This beer is mildly hoppy, but the cocoa introduces a touch of bitterness. Its color may be intimidating, but it's a very smooth beer within the reach of most drinkers. The highly appreciated dessert beer. This is brewed with organic, fair trade cocoa and first-rate vanilla beans. So they take pride in what they actually produce. They try to use the best ingredients at Dieu du Ciel. Anyways, let's get pouring. This is a twist off, so it shouldn't be too much problem. And I'm going to use this glass, and I'm going to pour it to the center. I want to get the most out of this beer. Since it's a small bottle, might as well get full hit. According to Jay, someone told him that this is one of the best beers in the world. Well, we're going to see, but I'm very excited. That's why I before reviewing the whole line of beers I've got for the next reviews, I decided to go with this, which I only bought like last week anyway. But it should be worth it. So, looking at the appearance, it's a very dark brown, typical stout color. And it's a brown head as well, nice and creamy. Actually, it's more like frothy, but partially creamy as well. Since I poured it to the center, we get a huge head on this thing, but usually I guess it should be about 2 finger thick. I definitely smell chocolate and vanilla as well. and you know, the roasted malts. Imagine, you know, smelling a typical dry stout, but with loads of sweet things as well, like vanilla and cocoa beans. It's not overpowering kind of sweetness in a sense, but it certainly reminds me of that Imperial Stout I tried from them, but it doesn't, you know, smell like alcohol because it's 6.5, not 9.5% ABV. Okay, this one's for Jay. Jay, this is to you. Wow, this is amazing. Yeah, this is good. Well, for a stout, this is such a complex beer. I can already taste that. I mean, it kind of reminds me of the Imperial Stout. Less coffee, more chocolate and vanilla, obviously, but you still get some dark fruit as well. But overall, if an Imperial Stout is a very kind of complex, full-bodied version of this real, like, you know, typical stouts, this is more of a lighter version of the Imperial, so you don't get as much alcohol, but you still get almost as much flavor and you know, body to it, I guess. This is great. It's fairly sweet. I mean, not too sweet as it says in the description, but certainly what I'm looking for in multi beers. I want, you know, a bit of sweetness, and I want some complexity as well. This is, you know, a true Dieu du Ciel brew so far. The finish is really lingering, kind of nice chocolatey notes and sweetness, with some nice maltiness as well. You know, it kind of lingers on with the roasty touch in it. I'd say it's more medium bodied as far as the mouthfeel goes, but it's fairly smooth, you know, it goes down fairly smooth. It's not too chewy or anything like that. Basically, it's a stout with more flavour, a bit more sweetness, I guess. I mean, if you compare this to Guinness or anything like that, even like Beamish or Murphy's, this is sweet, fairly more alcoholic, but you don't really, the alcohol is pretty well disguised, pretty well masked in this one. So, anyways, I'll get back to you in a sec, but this is, you know, this is awesome. I'm glad. Thanks, Jay, for reminding me of this beer. I'm glad I found this. I'm also glad they finally, you know, produced this and bottled this. But yeah, I'll get back to you in a sec. Okay, so I'm back. I've got a bit of beer left over here. It's a very, 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 very good stout. I can say that. It didn't entirely blow my mind away, but it certainly impressed me quite a bit. This is a top-notch kind of brew. The funny thing about it, though, is that I've been reading on the different review sites like Beer Advocate and stuff like that. People say that it's even more amazing on tap, and the funny thing that it's actually stronger in the bottle version. It's only 5% ABV on tap, so it's probably more drinkable that way, I guess. But overall, you know, this doesn't lack anything. I got loads of chocolate, dark chocolate, nicely with caramel, the vanilla. Certainly not too, you know, not too dry, not overpowering kind of sweet. You know, not sick of this sweet. And I wouldn't have probably more than a few bottles. But, you know, until the day I try the same beer on tap, I'm gonna go for the bottles. This is likely to become my favorite stout. You know, it's a very, very quality kind of beer. So anyway, I'm going to give this a 9. Not the perfect beer for me, but this is certainly something that Jay would probably love. Jay, thanks for reminding me to, you know, review this beer, but I'm sure you'd love this as well. Yeah. So 9 out of 10 for Aphrodisiaque from Dieu du Ciel, a proper brew for the only proves that they're the best in Montreal, in my opinion, anyway. But they're just amazing. Anyways, I'll see you guys later with more unique beers this week. See ya.